Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start the complete walkthrough of Disgaea. So you wake up in your own chamber here, and obviously you can use the left joystick to move your character and use the cross button, the action button, to get some information or just to interact with items. So now let's head to the next room, and first we will activate a secret switch located behind the throne here. So press the cross button, accept, and now we have activated the first secret switch. Here we have already some characters, and at any moment you can talk to them. You can see that they have very high level, but hopefully you will not fight them. Also, by pressing triangle you have access to a menu, and some options are still grayed out. We will unlock them later, so let's continue in the next room. You have some more characters to talk to if you want. This bottom character, called Longinus, will give you some information about weapon. So if you have any doubt, like you want to know what kind of special abilities you can unlock by using those weapons, you can talk to him. But I will use all weapons during my walkthrough, so you will be able to see them directly. Now we are about to enter the last room of the castle, in which all the features are, so you will spend a lot of time here. And now the shopkeeper is explaining you how to equip items, but we will see that in detail just after. So first things first, there's a second hidden switch behind the skull here in the corner of the shop. So let's interact with it, accept, and now we have unlocked the secret room. Just go back to the previous room and go in the top corner. You now have access to Etna's secret chamber, and inside there is her diary, and you will need to read her diary every chapter. There will be a new entry, and just go back every chapter, read it, and at the end you will receive a very powerful item. It's very interesting because you can get some information about the story of Etna, and in the last chapter the item that you will receive will be very powerful. So anyway, I will remind you every chapter, well, maybe twice per chapter, to do it, just to make sure that you don't forget. By talking to this girl here, you will access the hospital, in which you will be able to heal HP, SP, a special status inflicted to your characters, and revive dead characters as well. So after each battle I would recommend you to talk to her and heal everyone. It doesn't cost much money, so just do that after each battle. By talking to this girl you will access the Dark Assembly, but it's not available yet, so just wait a little bit, and it's the same for the item world, so we will see both of them later. Here the game explains us that we can save in the castle, so in between battles, and I would also recommend to do that between every battle, just to make sure that you will not lose any progress if you die. The game is not too hard, so you will not die very often unless you really want to, or if you are under-leveled, but in general the game is not too hard. So short version, save in between every battle and you'll be fine. Now we can talk to this blonde girl one more time, and basically she's the gatekeeper, so each time you want to go to battle, like advance in the story or do anything, you will need to talk to her, and you will have the list of available destinations. So let's select tutorial and battle basics. It's the very first map that you have unlocked. When you enter a new battle, I would recommend you to use your left stick to explore a little bit the battlefield and see how it is structured and what enemies you will face. By moving your cursor on an enemy, you will have some basic information about him, and by pressing the cross button, you'll have more information, and you also have the distance that they can cover in one turn. This can be helpful to plan your action ahead of time and to see where you should move your character, if the opponent can hit you or not. By pressing the triangle button, you will have a menu that gives you some more information, such as the bonus gauge, basically the list of items that you can get by completing the game. And here, by looking at the character, you will have the list of all the enemies that you will face. I will explain all the statistics and special powers later. For now, let's focus on the basic gameplay. So we can select the base panel, the blue panel, by pressing the cross button, and here we have the list of characters that we can use in battle. So we have 5 characters. Once the character is selected, you can press on him and you'll have the list of actions. So the first one would be a movement, for example. And now you have access to a second action. You can use attack, defend, item, and you have some more that are not unlocked yet. So here let's select attack on an enemy. By pressing triangle now, you have 2 more options, execute and end turn. Execute will execute all the actions that you have already selected, and end turn will do pretty much the same, but will also directly end your turn, therefore you will not be able to do any more actions. So now I am just selecting another character, and since Etna has a spear, she can attack from 2 panels away. So here I put her in diagonal and I will just attack again. This time I will select end turn because I want to execute my actions and I do not want to perform anymore during this turn. We have 3 more characters, but I will not use them. I want Lahal and Etna to fight alone in this fight. The reason is I want to level up my main character Lahal, and in the game you gain experience only for killing opponents, not for just damaging them. So I want to finish all my enemies with just Lahal. Also, by killing an opponent you get some mana. Mana is another currency in the game that we will use later, and I want to have as many points of mana as possible with Lahal. So again, I'm ending my turn. Etna is taking the hit, it's not a problem. Now it is my turn, so I will use Lahal to attack the enemies, and Etna will just defend. I do not want her to get some mana first. I want to give all the experience and mana to Lahal. If you kill any opponent with someone else, it doesn't matter, we can just repeat the battle to get more experience and more mana. Here I just wanted to tell you that you can as well move your character close to an ally and attack them. While it is useless, it will not grant you anything, and also this will affect the ending of the game. If you team kill more than once, this will be a neutral ending, and if you kill more than a certain number of enemies at the beginning of the game, like I believe it's 30 or 50, this will be the bad ending. So it doesn't give you anything, and it will not give you the good ending. So it's up to you to whatever ending you want to have. Now it's my turn again, and I will just finish this last opponent with Lahal and get all the experience and mana. When you finish any battle, you will get items depending of your bonus gauge. So for now, since it was not really filled, I will just get the first item. I will explain to you later how to optimize the bonus gauge, but for now we can't do much. So let's go back to the castle. We will just heal every character. We will save as well, and then we will be ready for the second battle. Healing is cheap, so feel free to heal after each battle, it's not an issue. And as well, if you heal enough characters, like enough hit points, special points or dead characters, you will get some rewards as well. So we will see later how to use the hospital to our advantage. Let's start the second battle. So again, we can see the list of characters, and we can see that we have 5 enemies instead of 3, and one of them is level 2, so he's slightly stronger. Again, I want to use Lahal for killing all enemies and not the other characters. I want him to be stronger and to have some more mana. Mana will be useful very soon, so let's just make sure that he gets all the kills. I will use basically the same strategy as before, using Lahal aggressively and trying to kill all the opponents, and Etla will just wound them if possible, and she will be used to attract the attention and get some damage instead of Lahal to help him survive this battle. One thing that I didn't mention yet is that if you use a regular attack close to an opponent, like just left, right, in front or behind an opponent, he has an opportunity to use a counter. Some characters can counter more than once, and the percentage is never shown to the players, but be careful when you attack opponents. If you use a regular attack close to an enemy, he will have an opportunity to deal some damage back to you as well. Don't worry, your characters can counter the opponents as well. Now I am going to use another very important feature of the game. As you can see, Lahal is too far away from the enemies, and he cannot use his regular attacks. So I'm going to move Etna close to Lahal, and I'm going to use the command lift. So you can lift characters from your own team, and you can lift as well enemies. You can only lift characters that are standing right next to you. And by selecting now as a second option throw, you will be able to throw this character in any direction. The distance will depend on the class of character you are using, and it's fixed as well for unique characters such as Lahal and Etna. For example, Lahal and Etna both have a throwing distance of 5, the maximum being 6 for some specific characters. As you can see, it is very helpful in all types of situations, like to make a character move much more than what he could in just one movement, so he can attack enemies even if he is really far away. You can move a character away from the battlefield by using the throwing option, and that would make him, for example, out of range for most opponents and make him survive, and there are many more options that I will explain later. Now we are going to see special attacks. When you use a special technique, you will see in red your character, in blue the area of effect, and in yellow all the panels that need to be empty if you want to use this technique. As you can see in this example, I could use the Blade Rush to attack 3 enemies at once. Special techniques are really useful if you want to deal extra damage to your opponents or deal damage to multiple opponents at once. However, they cost SP or special points, so be careful when you use them if you don't want to run out of SP. Again, it's time to go back to the hospital and heal all of the characters. Now, the new battle will introduce a new mechanic called the Geo effect. So basically, what it means is that during battles you will see sometimes colored panels. Here we have red and blue, and often they have effects associated to them. Here what it means is that any character standing on a blue panel will get 50% extra defense, and killing a character standing on a red panel will give you 50% more experience and hell being the money of the game. There are multiple effects in the game. Some can be positive, such as a bonus to experience, and some can be negative, such as a damage done to your team, or bonus given only to enemies. In story mode, geo symbols and geo panels are always located in the same position, and usually it's a design choice. It affects deeply how you will plan your strategy, so you will need to look at the battlefield and look at the position of all symbols and then decide what you want to do. For now, how to get rid of those symbols is really easy, so I'm just going to show you how it works and the solution. And then, in future battles where it might be more complicated, I will explain you in detail how to analyze the position of all symbols and how to use them to your advantage in order to clear the map, at least to clear the negative effects. Geo symbols are considered like any other character. They have their own stats, they can be attacked, lifted and thrown. So use that to your advantage. Here what I'm going to use is Lahal destroying this blue symbol located on a red panel. What it will do upon dying is transforming all the red panels to blue ones. If there is any character, ally, enemy or even a symbol located on a red panel, it will take some damage. The yellow symbol has been destroyed and therefore will transform all the blue colors, the blue panels, into yellow ones. and again the enemy will be damaged, and the chain will continue with the last geo symbol, which is more or less transparent, and upon dying it will just remove entirely the panel, and it will just go back to a normal panel. Now the battlefield is going to be clear of any colored panels. I will let you know later how to take advantage of all of this, but basically by doing this simple action you will clear the entire battlefield of all colors. It will also kill every single enemy, and as you can see the bonus gauge is filling at an insane rate, which will allow us to get a lot of rewards at the end of the battle, such as experience, and here we have a weapon, we have some money, and so on. So remember, in story mode all the geo symbols and geo effects are the same, so you'll have to learn how to plan your strategy around them. So now we have a new tutorial about the Dark Assembly and how to create new characters. So this is a very important part of the tutorial. Any character, it can be story related or one you have already created, can create a new character. The former character will be called the Master and the new one will be called the Pupil. The first benefit is that when the pupil will level up, the master will gain some bonus in stats. A master can create several pupils and therefore will benefit from multiple bonuses. However, they do not stack perfectly, so it's better to create a chain of characters, starting from Lahal. First off, by doing that, every character will get the benefit of his pupil, but there's another advantage that I will develop later, but it has to do with spells, and it will allow you to learn all the spells of the game with all of your characters, so it's not something to be just overlooked. So when you enter the Dark Assembly you have plenty of options. First, you have the Senator list. It's basically the list of senators that have voted for or against you, and this is not very useful for now. The second option is create a new character. This is the main option that we will use, and I will explain it in detail when I will be using it. The third option is delete a character. You can delete any character that is not story related. So you could not delete Lahal, but anyway, Lahal can delete any character like Fondue, Salzburg or Remy because they are not story related. The next option is change name. You can change the name of any non-story related character, so not Lahal for example. And promotion exam is basically a battle that you will have to do alone, so here Lahal would have to face those 4 enemies just by himself. We will do that later, it will be useful to increase your rank. And now we have the option to do raise military funds bill, but it's too complicated for now, so let's ignore it for now. So if you select create a new character, you will have the list of all the classes that are available to you for now. You will unlock many more, but don't worry, I will give information about all of them. You also have access to monsters, so let's pick one of them, the Brawler for example. On the left part you have access to his statistics at level 1, so he has 16 HP, 5 SP and so on. On the top you have the weapon affinities, so for example, Brawler is very good with fists, but he's rather mediocre with the sword. And on the bottom right you can see the aptitude. It's basically the bonus that he receives when you equip items. For example, he will get a lot of HP if you put an item that gives you HP but less in defense. Now we have to choose his skill. Good for nothing is the worst and incompetent is slightly better. So let's just choose incompetent, and now we have to choose his name. Pick whatever you want, you're not forced to do the same as mine, while it's just a character good with fists. Now, since he's incompetent, you have 1 bonus point to distribute, and I would recommend you to put it to attack because it's the most efficient way for now. Now the character is created. You can see his stats on the left and the weapon mastery to the right with the weapon affinities and aptitudes. Next you will have the elemental and status resistances. Next you will have the name of the mentor, and last is for special techniques, but for now we haven't learned any yet. For your first character it can be any physical one, it can be male or female brawler or warrior, but do not pick cleric or mage. The reason is the following. The master can learn any spell from his pupils. During battle, you just need to put him next to his pupil, and if that happens, he will be able to use the spell, even if he couldn't do it by himself. Therefore, if the cleric is the master of your mage, the cleric will be able to learn offensive offensive spells, and that would be very useful to level him or her up. So this is why you want to put the mage last. Second to last will be your cleric, and before that all of your physical characters. This way all of your characters will be able to learn offensive spells, and starting from the cleric they will be all able to learn healing spells, and that will be very helpful. Now it is time to go to the shop and buy some equipment for my new character. What you have to remember is that a character can equip up to 3 pieces of equipment. You can put armor, you can put boots, and some other types of equipment, and you can mix and match. You can put 2 armors plus another piece of equipment if you want. For now, the best option for me is to buy a bulletproof vest. It will give me the best defense for my character. I do not have much money for other type of defense, so I'll just head to the weapon shop now. Here I just have the quick tutorial about the hospital, and I received some more money. And now let's go back to the weapon shop. The game is right now explaining me that each character is better for some specific weapons. For example, my brawler is better with fists. The idea is that if you equip fist on him, he will be able to learn fist mastery faster, and that will be useful in order to get some better statistics and better skills as well. So here I'm just selecting the best double slap available, so let's pick the last one, and I will equip it on my brawler. Just a quick comment about the shop: it is always random what they have to offer, and if you sell a piece of equipment you can buy it back only immediately after you sell it. Afterwards it will be lost. So now it's time to equip what I just bought, and as you can see my stats are getting much better. So whenever you have some money, just go to the shop and buy whatever is available. And in the item menu you can move items from the item bag to the warehouse. The item bags is limited, you have only 16 spaces, but they are available in battle. So the main gum is more or less a potion that will give some health, and if it is in the warehouse it will not be available during the battle. So in the item bag put all your consumables, and in the warehouse put all the equipment that you don't want to use for now. So now that my characters are equipped, my items sorted, it's just time to hit the save button, and now we will be able to continue the story. Now the tutorial part is over. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.